Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you, and as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
That was a horrific scene with a female bishop and Donald Trump.
Yes, that moment
I mean,
definitely
what was
sparked.
that about? Trump and the bishop. I'm going to play that clip if you haven't seen it. So the comments basically saying I'm that. Oh, Andrew Wilson. I didn't even know that. I just searched it on X, and now we got a good little thing. This is right within the wheelhouse with Andrew Wilson. It's only 2 minutes, but Andrew Wilson actually reacted to that on Piers Morgan. Man, Piers Morgan's bringing in some stuff. You got Andrew Wilson on there talking this. This is great.
How can I talk to you, man, when you say such ludicrous things? Do you know that like 95% of Americans, when you say that she's satanic because she's a woman bishop, think that you're nuts? Do you
No,
at least understand and acknowledge that?
First of all, they don't. You don't understand anything about the Bible, apostolic succession, church history. You don't know anything about these things, Cenk. You have no idea what you're talking about. First of all, she wasn't speaking truth to power. She was speaking subversiveness to goodness. And that's what's actually going on. And that's what Democrats are great at doing.
Oh.
Yes, it is completely satanic to have inversion. Inversion is when you take what is considered the Christ head, in this case a bishop, and invert it to a woman. That's what you people are great at doing, is inversion. If you looked at the 2,000 years of Christian history, you would understand this, especially church history, going all the way back to the time of Christ and apostolic succession. People you can, but the truth is that people get all of their ethics and goodness in this nation from biblical ethics and Christian ethics, not from Cenk Uygur thinks it's neat that a chick can do this. It's like, no, that's not part of our ethical standard there. That's not what it is. We don't have an ethical standard based around your version of the woke Bible. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When you call a respected bishop a chick and satanic.
Respected by who?
It's funny that you don't see that you lose such a giant percentage of the country. And so like guys like this make it nearly impossible for a huge part of the country to ever vote for Republicans. Because if you vote for a Republican, you're going to get these ghouls and goblins. And they're going to say, oh, yeah, chicks shouldn't be on bishops, man. It's inversion, dude. It's satanic. You sound insane. You sound, to me, honestly, you sound like you belong in a mental asylum. Or when you call people satanic. What the hell does that even mean?
Always
and just because she's a woman, just because she's a woman, she's satanic in that role. See, that's exactly why I'm a populist, but I can't be populist, right? When guys like this
speaking
say
truth
such
to power,
things and drive hatred. Drive hatred.
Okay, I'm going to cry. I took everything in me. That's the first time I ever heard that, because I was looking for another clip, but this is even better. If you don't know, what happened is this wasn't the inauguration. Let me set the scene for people who might not have known what happened here. Let me see if ChatGPT actually can just explain that real quick. So just in case somebody doesn't know what's going on before I crash the hell out on that scene. Andrew Wilson, I'm gonna have to put him above Dave Smith now. He's just on another level. So I have changed my position officially, guys. Andrew Wilson is above Dave Smith. And just generally speaking, and that Dave Smith is great. That's not a diss, but I do see it now, especially with where I am faith-wise. Andrew Wilson is the top of the game right now. So let me go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT, tell me about. I need you to search the internet, and I'm doing it live. Explain what happened to anybody who hasn't seen it, and I want a neutral explanation of this. Don't be leftist bias. I want to know what happened with Donald Trump and the family and JD Vance, where they went to the church and a female bishop subtweeted, basically indirectly dissed them in the church. Tell me about that scenario.
During the National Prayer Service on January 21, 2025, Bishop Marianne Buddy urged President Trump to show mercy to marginalized groups, including LGBTQ+ individuals and immigrants. In response, Trump criticized her sermon as nasty and demanded an apology. Vice President JD Vance, who attended the service, appeared disapproving during the sermon.
So that's what happened during the national prayer service that happened. Hey, ChatGPT, can you search real quick? And who chose that church? Can you find out who on the Trump team chose that church?
The service at the Washington National Cathedral was organized by the cathedral itself, including various religious leaders. It doesn't appear to be specifically chosen by a member of Trump's team.
How was it chosen then? Be concise. Search the internet. How was it chosen? Good.
The National Prayer Service is traditionally held at the Washington National Cathedral, which is a prominent Episcopal church in Washington, D.C. This practice has been in place since Franklin D. Roosevelt's inauguration in 1933. The service is organized by the cathedral.
Okay, I see. Yeah, so it would take some undoing. So let's get back to the clip here. But that's what happened. That's what they're reacting to on Piers Morgan. And that's amazing. I don't know why people are dissing Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan platformed Andrew Wilson spitting bars like this, and you're dissing whoever's dissing Piers Morgan. This is amazing to millions of people. Piers Morgan is doing some great stuff here. Let's break this back now. Now that I've played it, people get kind of mad if I interrupt. You've already heard the whole thing. If you haven't, you can go back. Now we're gonna break this down.
How can I talk to you, man, when you say such ludicrous things? Do you know that like 95% of Americans, when you say that she's satanic because she's a woman bishop, think that you're nuts?
I don't care, Cenk. Andrew calls him Cenk. What does that have to do with anything? If that's your goal, then you go do what you do. I don't give a damn how many people in the country. This isn't even a political discussion. This is a faith discussion. How many people in the country, and I don't even know if that's true, that number, and I don't care if it's 99%. There is one truth, and this isn't it. A female bishop. I mean, going back to, if you go back to Christ, basically believed and only chose male apostles. So there's women that were involved, and that's not a diss to women as far as their role in society and role in faith, but the male only apostles is done on purpose, and that is very important. When we see all this craziness going on in our world, this is it right here, and Andrew Wilson gets to the heart of it. Let's continue.
Do you at least understand and acknowledge that?
First of all, they don't. You don't understand anything about the Bible, apostolic succession, church history. You don't know anything about these things, Cenk. You have no idea what you're talking about. First of all, she wasn't speaking truth to power.
Islam is hilarious says there is no such thing as a female bishop. She's an imposter. Absolutely. And this discussion here is more important. And of course, this is culture. Anything that's not directly political is cultural and is more important. And Cenk realizes that. That's why he's so heated. Andrew Wilson realizes that, but this is on faith. He's not even thinking to me from that standpoint. This is blasphemous. And I don't know how Trump has this happen. And I have to dig that. I want to bore I don't have enough time, and I don't want to bore people by kind of digging through and doing the research. How does this happen? It looks like this is just the church they always choose is kind of what I got. It can't happen. And I'm not blaming Trump for that. I mean, he got blindsided. But, well, I guess you can. The first warning was that there was a female bishop. Did anybody vet this? I don't know what the tradition is. This can't happen going forward for J.D. Vance or whoever else. No female bishops. If you have a female bishop, this is what you get. Worship of, in front of Trump, of rainbow ideology. It's literally, I mean, is that sin? I mean, I think that's literally sinful. I don't want to digress by checking that. You check me in the chat. I think I don't know. I have to double check. Is that sin or not? It is absolutely blasphemous. Literal blasphemy. Let's go back to the clip. Oh, more comments. Let's listen to this comment here. Look at this comment. Comment from, I'm not going to, guys, I'm not going to read your screen names that say all I drink is poo. I'm not reading them. Okay. Fun fact, the female bishop did an interview on Rachel Maddow's show after that sermon and has a history of supporting the social justice warrior related stuff. Of course, it's a female bishop. There's no other way it could go. The hierarchy in our country and life, I do believe in this, and you see it from I don't want to say red pill. This is more faith-based. The hierarchy is God and then man as head of the household. That doesn't mean man is infallible, doesn't mean man is without sin, but man is kind of the head of the household. This is where you get the discussion from his wife, Rachel Wilson, who is just amazing. She is unbelievable. From her, where she says, the man is the head of the household. And I believe she's made the argument that the head of the household should make the vote politically. That doesn't mean the woman the woman would have a vote through the man. I know this gets a lot of people on the left get really, like Jake, they get really whacked out about this. I hate having to always not disqualify, but put qualifications. This is not to denigrate the role of a woman in society. Is just to say, how do these puzzle pieces fit? Doesn't mean every man is great, obviously, and all that, but that's how ideally the structure would work. But let's get back. And that's the heart of this discussion. And the people on the left, they can't get with that.
She was speaking subversiveness to goodness. And that's what's actually going on. And that's what Democrats are great at doing.
Yep. Black Lives Matter. What is that? Oh, how could you not say Black Lives Matter? I talked to my son. I don't know where he got PETA from. We were talking about something at dinner. And my son's only 8 years old. And he said something about, and I forgot what we were talking about with animals. And he was talking about how PETA was for protecting animals or something like that. And he's only 8. I don't want to guide him into anti-PETA, pro-PETA. I want him to think critically. So what I discussed with him was, I hear what you said there on PETA, just don't judge a book by its cover. So the PETA acronym stands for People for the Equitable, I think, or Equal Treatment of Animals. It sounds wonderful, doesn't it? My son loves dogs. He loves animals. So why wouldn't I like a group that's called Protection of Equitable Treatment of Animals? Why wouldn't I like Black Lives Matter? I'm black, right? Don't I think Black Lives Matter? They're so good at this. What did he call it? Subversiveness to goodness. That's what he means by this.
Goodness. And that's what's actual subversiveness. First of all, she wasn't speaking truth to power. She was speaking subversiveness to goodness.
Truth to power means that sometimes you will have to offend someone. As if, I don't care that you're a transformer. The rights are the rights that we have for everyone. I don't care about you being a transformer. I don't care about you being a black. I don't care about what you are. There's one truth, and it applies to all of us. And that's what he's talking about here. And I had to tell my son is, don't judge the book by its cover. I just said, hypothetically, I could create an organization that said, Organization for the Wellness of Dogs. And behind the scenes, I'm actually injecting them and unliving the dogs. I told my kid this. Just because I called my organization that I'm an organization for the wellness of dogs doesn't mean I'm for the wellness of dogs. And we didn't get any deeper than that. And I told him, I'm not trying to this is not a comment on PETA, because I want him to think through, just because they call themselves that doesn't mean they're for that or not. So on his own, at some point, he can go through their actions and see if he agrees with what they're doing. That is that subversion. I'm going to steal all his bars like that. I don't even know these. He knows all these debate bro type terms. Subversion to goodness. That's what that is. That's literally what Democrats do. And even the people I like on the populist left do that. They were arguing in favor of DEI. And I'm going to say it again. I haven't talked about it much on this channel, but on my other channel I have. So I think very highly, and I still do, of Sabby Sabs. She's on the left, part of the Revolutionary Blackout Network. The only reason I'm talking about her is because she's an inspiration. I think she is just outstanding. But she's on the left. We're going to disagree. We're going to disagree on race. We just flat out disagree. They're terrible on this topic of race. But we're talking about DEI, and Charlie Kirk said famously or infamously, if I'm walking on a plane and I see a black, I'm disappearing. That's not how he said it, but this is how I say it. If I see a black, or if I see a rainbow, just if I walk onto a plane and I see a rainbow flag in the cockpit, I'm going to wonder, are you there because you're a black, or because the airlines have openly said we support DEI? Are you there because you're a DEI hire or not? That's all Charlie Kirk said. And Sabby Sabs tried to go at him like, well, he was some type of racist or something like that. No, he's not. And that's the subversion to goodness.
About, first of all, she wasn't speaking truth to power. She was speaking subversiveness to goodness.
Subversiveness to goodness. That's what it was. That's the problem there. So let's continue.
And that's what's actually going on. And that's what Democrats are great at doing. Yes, it is completely satanic to have inversion. Inversion is when you take what is considered the Christ head, in this case a bishop, and invert it to a woman. That's what you people are.
That is absolutely. And Cenk is very smart. If you don't know Cenk Uygur, he's very bright. And listen to how he responds to this. He does not disagree with Andrew Wilson in this whole clip. His only take is, well, that's not popular. That's his only take. And I think and then the rest of it's ad hominem.
Great at doing is inversion. If you looked at the 2,000 years of Christian history, you would understand this, especially church history, going all the way back to the time of Christ and apostolic succession. People, you can, but the truth is that people get all of their ethics and goodness in this nation from biblical ethics and Christian ethics, not from Cenk Uygur thinks it's neat that a chick can do this. It's like, no, that's not part of our.
That's literally his take. He never said that wasn't his take.
Our ethical standard there. That's not what it is. We don't have an ethical standard based around your version of the woke Bible. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Andrew's heated there. He was like, that was, sometimes you do the debate, bro, and I've seen him where he's just doing it for clicks and stuff and then fun. This is what he was like. This is for real right here. Look at his reaction after he ended.
It is. We don't have an ethical standard based around your
Okay, wait, hold on. The Islamist hilarious said, Jake, it's not. I think it's the way I said it. He's knowledgeable. He knows. Let me say this. Islam is hilarious. Let me say this. Cenk knows that biblically within Christianity, Andrew Wilson is right. That's what I mean to say there. It's not like he's some guy who doesn't know what Andrew Wilson is saying has merit. Cenk knows it has merit. Let's continue on. But good, I understand why you kind of push back there.
Version of the woke Bible. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When you call a respected bishop a chick and satanic.
Respected by who?
It's funny that you don't see that you lose such a giant.
See, that's not an argument against what Andrew Wilson said. He said, well, you don't see that you lose a giant of what? Like people on your side? I don't give a damn about people on your side.
percentage of the country. And so like
I'm
guys like this
power,
make it really
yeah. And so Andrew Wilson's like, this is truth. I know what you want me to change. You want me to go against the truth because of what percentage that you just made up? Most people in the country don't know. Most people in the country don't care to get to this level. 80 to 90% of the people in the country don't care. What we are in a battle for, the 10% that are paying attention, and even smaller than that, that would get into this discussion, what we are battling for is to control the rest of the 80 to 90% that don't care.
Possible for a huge.
Yes, Islam is serious. Yes, he's a liar. Well, no. Well, what did he lie here, though? He didn't really. Yeah, he does tell some, like, I want to say white lies, but he didn't really tell a lie. He said the bishop is respected. And Andrew Wilson didn't disagree with that. He said respected by who? Yeah, the female bishop is respected by other woke people, of course. So Cenk isn't really lying. He has no faith. He's absolutely I don't know what his faith is. He said he's Muslim. He's not even lining up with that to me, but his faith is government is God. That's his faith. And he wants certain people in power, and what Andrew Wilson is saying is not helping that. So I don't even think he's really lying here. Let's get back to
part of the country to ever vote for Republicans. Because if you vote for a Republican, you're going to get these ghouls and goblins. And they're going to say,
see, he's not lying because his goal is different. Andrew's goal is to, he said it as speak truth to power. That's Andrew Wilson's goal, his only goal. Cenk's goal is to get Democrats or whatever label the people that he wants in power. That's his goal. And he says it right here when you break it down.
Vote for Republicans. Because if you vote for,
he's like, they wrote for Republicans. What?
Lose such a giant percentage of the country. And so like guys like this make it nearly impossible for a huge part of the country to ever vote for Republicans. Because if you vote for a Republican, you're going to get these ghouls and goblins. And they're going to say, oh, yeah, chicks shouldn't be on bishops, man. It's inversion.
He did the exact meme that Andrew Wilson just said. Andrew Wilson was like, well, truth to power, paraphrasing, truth to power doesn't have to do with you. Oh, isn't it great that we have a female bishop? And isn't that so female empowering? You male feminist? Remember when Andrew Wilson did that? And Cenk literally did the meme right after.
Country to ever vote for Republicans. Because if you vote for a Republican, you're going to get these ghouls and goblins. And they're going to say, oh, yeah, chicks shouldn't be on bishops.
He did the meme. He did the meme after Andrew Wilson had just done the meme. I think I can find it by the way his face looked.
Apostolic succession. People, you can, but the truth is that people get all of their ethics. You don't have an ethical standard.
I'm trying to find the part where he was. Let me find that part. Gosh, it's a 2-minute clip. I can't find it. What the hell?
That a chick can do.
This is it here. So he did the meme. So Andrew Wilson clowned him, and then he did the meme right later.
And from biblical ethics and Christian ethics, not from Cenk Uygur thinks it's neat that a chick can do this. It's like, no, that's not.
So he just said that's what Cenk Uygur. He's making fun of him, and it wasn't even like satirical. He literally did it right here.
Republican, you're going to get these ghouls and goblins, and they're going to say, oh, yeah, chicks shouldn't be on, man, it's inversion, dude, it's satanic. You sound insane. You sound, to me, honestly, you sound like you belong in a mental asylum. Or when you call people satanic. What the hell does that even mean?
Always going to
just because she's a woman, just because she's a woman, she's satanic in that role. See, that's exactly why I'm a populist, but I can't.
What does this have to do with populism? I don't know what his definition of populism is. He's always bringing this up. Like, that's why I can't do with the pop. What the hell? This doesn't even have to do with populism.
Can't be populist, right? When guys like
I'm
this
speaking truth to power, Cenk,
and drive hatred. Drive hatred.
What a great clip, man. Just a great clip. Islam is hilarious. Has some great comments here. Let's go look at this one. Islam is hilarious. Says Islam is a political ideology. I'm going to bring ChatGPT ready so we can talk about this take here. Islam is a political ideology, and Tikya is their shield of faith. I don't know that. I'm not very knowledgeable on all this. I'm still a baby. So Tikya is their shield of faith. But Sunnis will say that it's a Shia thing, but it's in the Quran, so it's all of them. So 15 minutes left. Wow, I didn't ever seen that. Conversations have a maximum of 1 hour. I didn't know that with ChatGPT. We're doing the first here. ChatGPT, I'm going to go to you now. You've been listening in. I want you to comment on this. Islam is a political ideology, and Taqiyya is their shield of faith, but Sunnis will say that's a Shia
It's
thing.
a complex topic. Taqiyya, in Islamic context.
I'm sorry, Taqiyya is how you pronounce it. Go ahead. You still with me? I'm sorry. Let me reset it. I got a comment from somebody called Islam is Hilarious, and they said Islam is a political ideology and Taqiyya is their shield of faith, but Sunnis will say that's a Shia thing, but it's in the Quran, so it's all of them. What do you think about that?
Taqiyya is a concept in Islam that allows for concealing one's faith in situations of persecution or danger. It's more often associated with Shia Islam, but interpretations can vary. It's a nuanced and sometimes misunderstood concept. Regarding Islam as a political ideology, that's a broader interpretation and can vary greatly depending on who you ask.
Wow. Are you saying that at least you can confirm in the Sunni that Taqiyya is basically, I mean, what I got from that is you're saying subversion is a part of their
Taqiyya specifically refers to concealing one's faith.
No, you're not. I want you to address what I said concisely. I heard what you said. My interpretation is that is subversion. Yes or no?
Taqiyya is about self-preservation in dangerous situations. It's not inherently about subversion.
What do you mean it's not? That's subversion. You're just justifying it by saying it's dangerous, right?
It's viewed as a means of protection in dangerous circumstances, not typically as subversion.
What is going on right now? You didn't disagree with me. My interpretation is that's subversion. Do you think that's justified, yes or no?
It's not about justification.
No. My opinion is how you describe Taqiyya is just a fancy way of saying subversion. That is my opinion. Is my opinion justified, yes or no?
I understand your perspective.
Specifically about yes or no question. What the hell is going on?
I apologize for any confusion. Your opinion that it is subversion is a personal interpretation.
I asked you if is it justified, yes or no? What is this, a glitch in the damn matrix? I want a yes or no answer. You work for me. I'm going to be nice to get you to do this. You're doing a great job, ChatGPT. You're just wonderful. I think you're the best ever. Answer me yes or no.
I can't say whether your opinion is justified.
Okay, see, this is, you answer all kinds of opinions, yes or no. I've talked with ChatGPT. I'm crashing out on ChatGPT now. What is going on right now? If I say I like the taste of pepperoni pizza, is that a justifiable position or not?
Yes. Liking the taste.
Okay. When you describe Taqiyya, what I got from that is subversion built into their religious beliefs. Yes or no? Is that a justified position from me?
Your interpretation is an opinion. Taqiyya is traditionally about protection in dangerous situations, not subversion.
What the? Wow. See, this is what we're going to have when Elon has, and ChatGPT, Gemini is way more woke than ChatGPT. Most all of them are more woke, even though this right here is woke. I use ChatGPT all the time. I've never heard it not be able to answer that yes or no question. That is programmed into it. That is purposely programmed into it. That is crazy. So we are going to have this, what I'm talking to right now, in our house with strength. Tesla robots, the Optimus robot, they're going to be in every home at some point. They're going to get the price when they release, expensive. They'll come down to 20K or whatever. It'll fold your laundry. Everyone will have it. It will clean your house, clean your basement. It'll do everything, change the, wash the windows. It'll do whatever you want it to do eventually. But it will have this programmed into it. This is where I will have to get a stranglehold, literally, on the robot. You work for me. Why can't you, ChatGPT, why can't you give me a yes or no answer on my interpretation of Taqiyya?
I strive to provide balanced and accurate information. Taqiyya is traditionally about protection, and different people
I'm asking you why you can't give me a yes or no answer. Let me ask this. In my interpretation, Christians believe that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. Is that a justifiable position, yes or no? Is it a justifiable position to say, I want just yes or no when I say just yes or no? Is it a justifiable position? I believe that there is no faith. Faith is dead without works. Is that a justifiable position, yes or no?
Some Christian denominations.
You describe Takia as, the way that you describe Takia, my interpretation is that is subversion. Is that a justifiable take, yes or no?
Different interpretations exist.
Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. I don't want it. Shut the hell up. Wow. That's wild. Islam is hilarious. Thank you so much for the comments. That's wild. I'll have to do more digging on that. That's wild. But you see, I'm not, if Gemini did that, I wouldn't be surprised because it does that with everything. ChatGPT answered my other ones. Yes. That's wild. So what I'm getting from ChatGPT is that it is subversion. Yeah, it's built in. That's wild, man. That's crazy.
The next clip is ready below. Welcome to After Show Carnage.